Golden Eagles basketball is on the air. Live from the Eagles Nest on the campus of Cal State L.A. Tonight, the Cal State L.A. Golden Eagles take on the Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros in a CSUDH doubleheader. Hi, Michael Nemitz back here with you for two exciting games tonight. Cal State L.A. taking on their crosstown rival, Cal State Dominguez Hills. The Cal State L.A. men will tip off about 7:30 against Cal State Dominguez Hills, or 20 minutes after this first game gets over. But let's talk about the women's game right now as the teams are on the court getting ready for that one. For the first time this season, Cal State L.A. has a winning streak. The Golden Eagles won both games this past weekend over Sonoma State and San Francisco State. First time all year they won 2 games in a row. In Saturday's victory over San Francisco State, Fernica Hall carried the offense, scoring a career-high 26 points, including 14 points in the second quarter. She also led the defense with 5 steals in both games. In fact, Cal State L.A. took advantage of 2 turnover-prone teams, as their defense had a season-high 15 steals in both games. A big reason for the Golden Eagles' improved play of late is their improved ball handling, led by the steady hand of point guard Christine Delapina. They tied a season low with 13 turnovers versus San Francisco State. All 3 of their lowest turnover games, in fact, have come in the last 5 games. And as you might have guessed, all of them have been with Christine Delapina handling the point guard position. The team is now tied with Cal State Monterey Bay for 9th place at 4-9. They're a half game out of the top 8. And if they can sneak into the conference tournament in that 8th spot, their likely first-round opponent would be tonight's opponent, Cal State Dominguez Hills. Now, before we tell you about Cal State Dominguez Hills, let's get to the starting lineups for this one. Both teams starting the same starting lineups that they've started now for a while. For the Golden Eagles, certainly since Christine Delapina has taken over as the point guard, they've gone with the same starting lineup that's worked for them. Dominguez Hills with a senior-laden lineup that they go with. Let's give you theirs first. Starting at the guard spot is number 24, Femi Hamilton, a 5'7" junior from London, England. Hamilton started 21 times now in 22 games. She averages 7 points and 2.5 assists. The 2.5 assists is 15th in the conference. She's also an excellent free throw shooter. Starting at the other guard spot is number 15, Monet Lee, a 5'7" senior from Huntington Beach. Lee averages just over 13 points a game. That's 8th in the CCAA. She also averages 7.5 rebounds a game, which is 6th in the conference. And she averages 3 assists per game, which is 10th in the conference. So she pretty much does it all for the Toros. But talking about doing it all, starting at the point guard spot is number 1, Brianne Garcia, 5'2" senior from Highland. She is really the story for the Toros. She is the second leading scorer in the conference, averaging just over 17.5 points per game. She's also in the top 10 in the CCA in most offensive categories. She scored 27 points against Cal State L.A. last year, so as if she wasn't someone to look out for already, she certainly is tonight. Starting at the forward spot is number 20, Kylan Wilson, a 5'9" senior from Los Angeles. Wilson averages 8.5 rebounds a game. That's 4th in the conference. She had 19 rebounds in a game earlier this year against Point Loma, so the Golden Eagles really got to do a job keeping her off the boards. And starting at the other forward spot is number 23, Anandi Jimenez, a 5'11" senior from Santa Rosa. Jimenez has started the last 9 games for the Toros. She had 7 points and 7 rebounds in the Toros' last game against San Francisco State. Molly Goodenbauer is the head coach for Cal State Dominguez Hills. She has a record of 70-40. Now the story here is her assistant coach. Her lead assistant is Janelle Jones. And if that name sounds familiar to Golden Eagle fans, it should. She was the former head coach here at Cal State L.A. for 4 years before Carter Shaw. The other assistants are Annette Kleinstone, Jalissa Ross, and Tess Williams. That name could also sound familiar to Golden Eagle fans. Of course, she was a great player here at Cal State L.A. a couple of years ago when Janelle Jones was head coach. Really, a couple of years ago, she led the Golden Eagles to the championship game of the CCA tournament. She really should have been Conference Player of the Year that year. But she was quite a player, and now she's an assistant coach for the Toros. Anyway, let's get to Cal State L.A.'s starting lineup. They're starting that same starting lineup they started this past weekend. And for a while now, starting at the point guard spot, of course, number 12, I've mentioned her, Christine Delapina, 5'6" freshman from Torrance. Delapina had a season-high 13 points against Sonoma State. She now has 3.6 assists a game. That's 6th in the conference. Pretty incredible when you think she has 58 assists and only 32 turnovers this year. That assist-to-turnover ratio is 2nd in the conference. 1.8 assist-to-turnover ratio. She's the only player on the team that has more assists this year than turnovers. So she has really steadied the ball handling, as I said, and it's made a huge difference. Starting at the other guard spots, number 5, Allie Orlick, 5'8" senior from Fresno. Orlick had 6 points and 3 assists against San Francisco State. She knocked down 2 long-range shots in that game. Starting at the forward spots, number 24, Kaya Knox, 5'11" senior from San Francisco. Knox had 9 points against San Francisco State in 35 minutes of action. She really battled hard inside all game long. She had a season-high tying 4 offensive rebounds, and she also had 9 free throw attempts. That was because of those offensive rebounds. Very impressive considering she went against 2 of the best post players in the conference in Laura Lawson and Kira Ginwright of San Francisco State. Starting at the other forward spots, number 10, Bree Parsons, a 6-foot senior from Terrigal, Australia. Parsons had 7 points and 3 steals against Sonoma State. She had 6 points and 2 steals, but she only played 19 minutes against San Francisco State. And starting at the center spot, of course, is number 13, Rike Fabricius, the 6'2 sophomore from Copenhagen, Denmark. Fabricius tied a season high with 15 points against Sonoma State. She also had 6 assists. She followed that up with 9 points against San Francisco State. Carter Shaw, of course, in his second year as the head coach of the Golden Eagles, Cassandra Reno and Sean Barina are his assistants. So I have a lot to tell you, of course, about Cal State Dominguez Hills, as you might expect, the juggernaut of the conference this year. But first we're going to have the national anthem here at the Eagles Nest, so I'm going to pause for a minute while we have the national anthem, and then I'll be back right after the national anthem to tell you about Cal State Dominguez Hills, the Golden Eagles' opponent tonight. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network.
Welcome to the Eagles Nest on the campus of Cal State L.A. for CC2A basketball action. This evening's game featuring the visiting Toros of Cal State Dominguez Hills and your Cal State L.A. Golden Eagles. At this time, please rise for our national anthem.
And welcome back to the Eagles Nest. Michael Nemitz with you. Let me tell you a little bit about Cal State Dominguez Hills. Defending CCA regular season and conference tournament defending champion Cal State Dominguez Hills comes into the Eagles Nest tonight carrying a historic streak and a potentially historic season for the program. The first place Toros are currently on a school record 12-game winning streak. Their record is 15-6, and they're a perfect 13-0 in conference play. Their season didn't start historically at all, though, as they lost 4 of their first 5 games and were only 3-6 before their winning streak started. However, 3 of their 6 losses were to teams currently ranked in the top 10 in the nation, which might explain their slow start. The Toros are led by a senior-laden group with the probable frontrunner for Conference Player of the Year, Brianne Garcia, being the most important player in that group. Tonight's game is a daunting task for the Golden Eagles, but not an impossible one. Toros do have a few weaknesses. 12 of the 13 players on their roster are guards, with nobody taller than 5'11". In fact, Cal State L.A. has 3 starters that are 5'11" or taller, so we'll see if the Golden Eagles can take advantage of that size advantage. As a result, though, the Toros do play their best at a faster pace, and they did struggle a bit at a slower pace. Their last game is an example of that, as Sonoma State playing a slower pace led Cal State Dominguez Hills midway through the fourth quarter, before a late Toros run gave them a 68-60 win. So while Cal State L.A. plays better at a faster pace, slowing the tempo might be the key tonight if the Golden Eagles have any chance for victory. Now, telling you a little more about both teams. It's interesting, Cal State L.A. very much in that race for the conference tournament. In the last month, they played 3 other teams around them in the conference tournament standings: Cal State Monterey Bay, Cal State San Marcos, and Chico State. I have to say, though, it is strange that they're playing Cal State Dominguez Hills this late in the season. Usually we play them around November or December, but this year they're playing them not till February, and they play them twice in 12 days. They're going to play them again a week from Saturday. That's a really tough task. Of course, it's homecoming night here at the Eagles Nest, so former alumni and staff are encouraged to come out here tonight. Hopefully they are here. We're about ready to get underway. Esther Zhu, Janetta Graham, and Dion Lewis are the officials for tonight's game. The teams are at the center jump. The Golden Eagles in their white uniforms with gold trim, and the Toros in their black uniforms with orange trim. And we are underway. Hope you enjoy this one wherever you're watching or listening to it on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network. Now Kaya Knox gets over Della Pina, fakes a 3, goes around the defender, gets over to Knox. Knox over, and now it's swung around the perimeter. Now you got Parsons over to Knox. Now Knox back to Della Pina, nowhere to go. Now Knox will drive inside, runs into Monet Lee around 2 defenders. Wild 7-footer off the glass, no good. Monet Lee gets the rebound. So the Toros showing off their defense right there as the shot by Monet Lee is up off the glass, no good. Boy, tough break for her there. Now Bree Parsons with the rebound, and Della Pina will bring it to the front court. Now Knox gets over to Parsons. Of course, as you might expect, the Toros have a pretty good defense, even though they do give up a lot of points. That is because they usually play faster-paced games. As that ball underneath knocked away out of bounds by the Toros, it was knocked out of the hands of Fabricius, and it'll belong to Cal State L.A. with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Just about a minute played in this one. Now Knox looking inside, gets it into Fabricius, knocked away. Nice play there by Jimenez. Now coming the other way, ball knocked away by Knox. Nice play by her. It goes out of bounds and will stay with the Toros. So nice play by Knox, preventing the layup there after the steal on the other end by Jimenez. Now it's swung around to Garcia. Orlick is on her, kicks it out. Hamilton looking to shoot. Wild runner in the lane, not close. Ball chased down. Oh, goes off the face of Kaya Knox and somehow goes to Jimenez. 3-pointer by Monet Lee, no good. Inside, trying to box out was Della Pina, and the ball hit the wire up above, so it's out of bounds. So it will go to Cal State L.A. Nice job by Della Pina inside, trying to box out to get that rebound over a much taller Toro player. But the ball goes to the Golden Eagles instead, as we are still scoreless. Now Parsons looking for somewhere to go. Now inside Orlick has it, gets it over to Knox. Inside is Fabricius, posting up on Jimenez, who's fronting her. Now Knox over to Parsons. Boy, the Toros really doubling down. Now the ball stolen. Inside, give and go, put up and put in. So Wilson gets the first basket of the game, and that makes it a 2-0 Toros lead. Now dumped inside. It's knocked away from Fabricius out of bounds by Wilson. So I wanted to see if the Golden Eagles can really take advantage of that size advantage tonight. Fabricius is 3 inches taller than any other player on the Toros roster. But early on, you can tell they're really doubling and tripling down on her in the post, not allowing her to be open for any kind of catch. So we'll see if they can somehow get it into her and then maybe try to free up an outside shooter if she has to throw it back out. But right now, they can't even get it into her. Knox is outside the three-point line, and she doesn't want to be there. Knox pulls up for an 18-footer straight away. That's no good. And fighting for the rebound is Wilson. We talked about how good Wilson is as a rebounder. Now quickly the other way, the Toros push it up. Monet Lee gets it over to Hamilton. Now over to Jimenez. Now swung around to Garcia. Garcia drives on Orlick, runs into Bree Parsons, who knocks it away. She's around 3 Golden Eagles, and a held ball is called. Boy, they could have called 3 seconds there. Instead, they call the held ball and give the ball back to the Toros where the possession arrow goes. And they will get it out of bounds. Boy, Garcia got caught in the lane in there, and she was in there for a while. As Amari Brown comes in, number 3, she's quite a story for the Toros. She's like the 6th man off the bench. She averages over 12.5 points per game. That's 9th in the conference. She had 20 points and 9 rebounds in the Toros' last game against San Francisco State. She averaged almost 6 rebounds a game. Garcia away from Orlick, pulls up for 3. That's long, and Bree Parsons gets the rebound. Now Parsons looking to quick push up to Delapina, and Delapina will reset. Now Parsons gets over to Orlick. Orlick looking inside. Into Parsons. Tough pass. Knocked away and stolen by Hamilton. Here come the Toros the other way. Now Lee drives all the way through 3 Golden Eagles, lays it up and lays it in. Carter Shaw doesn't like that defense at all, and he's going to call a quick timeout. So we'll take a break. 7 minutes exactly to go in this first quarter. Cal State L.A. still looking to score as they're down 4-0 to the Toros. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball. Seven minutes exactly to go in this first quarter. And Fernica Hall's in the game already for Cal State L.A. Where Fernica Hall, now the leading active scorer for the Golden Eagles, averaging almost 12 points a game. She's 13th in the conference now in that department. She leads the conference in steals by a lot. She averages almost 3 steals a game as she goes inside, puts it up no good, but she'll go to the line. So sure enough, Golden Eagles had all kinds of problems early getting the ball inside, and once Fernica Hall comes into the game, she drives right to the basket and draws 2 free throws. Foul is on Amari Brown, so Fernica Hall will go to the free throw line. She's only a 56% free throw shooter on the year, so she has struggled from there, but she knocks that one down confidently, and the Golden Eagles are finally on the board 3 minutes and 17 seconds into this one. Hall's going to have to score big tonight, you'd figure, for the Golden Eagles to stay in this as she misses that second free throw. And now the Toros into the front court. Now Garcia open for a second, drives around Delapina, now around Parsons, pull up 8-footer. Nice move by Garcia. Boy, she went around both Orlick and Parsons like it was nothing and found her way to freedom to get her first basket. Now the ball through the legs of Fabricius and turned over right to Jimenez. Boy, Cal State L.A. with 4 turnovers already. And if they're going to want to stay in this game, they're going to have to hold on to the ball as Fernica Hall steals that one, gathers it, goes the other way, lays it up and lays it in. So Fernica Hall certainly a boost on offense. She scored all 3 of Cal State L.A.'s points. And it's a 6-3 game. Now Brown gets it over to Hamilton. Hamilton cradles it, shot rejected by Fabricius. Boy, Brown put up the shot left-handed, but it went right into Fabricius. And now Parsons all the way, lays it up, blows the layup. Fabricius gets the rebound, but she is fouled. So that'll be ball out of bounds. That's the second foul on the Toros. That'll be on Hamilton. So substitution for the Toros will be number 20. That'll be Wilson coming back in. Gina Green makes her first appearance for the Golden Eagles, giving Fabricius a rest. Green, the 5'11 senior from San Francisco, averages about 3 points a game on the year. As Hall gets it inbounds to Delapina. Approaching 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. As that ball knocked away out of bounds, the Toros really active on passes inside. They're really packing the paint. And any pass that goes into the post, they're right there to knock it away. So the Golden Eagles are going to have to figure something out to get the ball inside. As Hall gets a tough pass inbounds. Now dumps it into Parsons, one-on-one. Parsons turnaround 8-foot runner. Oh, off the glass. Gina Green gets the loose ball, hits the bottom of the board, and then Bree Parsons had it and lost it out of bounds. Tough break there. Gina Green couldn't get it around the backboard, and then Parsons was all alone, but she fumbled the ball out of bounds. And Fernica Hall just missed a steal there. Monet Lee goes all the way up into Gina Green and draws the foul. excuse me, it was on Parsons. Looked like she ran into Gina Green, but they say Parsons, I guess, on the reach-in. So Monet Lee, the Toros' second leading scorer on the year, she's a 75% free throw shooter, and she makes that one. As a team, the Toros are a very good free throw shooting team, almost 72% on the year. As that free throw is also good. So that increases the Toros' lead to 8-3. As in the front court, Fernica Hall picks up her dribble, gives it off to Parsons. Two steps, but she already had the ball and didn't dribble, so another Golden Eagle turnover. That's 5 Golden Eagle turnovers in the first 5 minutes of the game. Turnover a minute is not a recipe to victory. As Hamilton looking to go around the screen, Parsons comes out to defend her. Now Hamilton dumps it in low. It's fumbled out of bounds by Brown. That's a break for the Golden Eagles. Brown was all by herself. She would have had a layup. So the Toros with their second turnover. And now Cal State L.A. will bring it up, looking to cut into this early 5-point deficit. Of course, the Golden Eagles want to stay in touch at Dominguez Hills. They do not want them to get a big lead. This team is very tough to make headway on, especially when they're way ahead, as that 15-footer by Green is no good. And now the Toros, Garcia brings it quickly into the front court. Now dumped inside, all alone. It's knocked away. That was from Wilson. Now Hamilton will pull up for a long two and knock it down. So Hamilton, who was just inside the three-point line, hits the basket to make it 10-3 Toros. Now Delapino slowly bringing it into the front court. And a hand check foul is called on Brown. So that's 2 fouls on Brown, so she'll probably have to sit down. Fabricius will quickly come back in for Cal State L.A. Number 13, Bridget Jenkins, make her first appearance for the Toros. 5'4" junior from Northridge, averages about 4.5 points a game. So that's 3 team fouls on the Toros already. Golden Eagles only with 1, as Delapino will slowly bring it into the front court. Now Parsons cuts to the near side. Thinks better of the 3, gives off to Delapino, guarded by Jenkins. A high pass over the head of Fabricius and turned over. So a turnover for Delapino. Now Garcia quickly coming the other way. In the ball knocked off the leg of Jenkins. Nice play there by the Golden Eagles, and that forces the turnover. So the Golden Eagles defense, even though they're down 10-3, is actually keeping them in this game. It's the offense that needs to get going here, as they are struggling mightily with turnovers. Now they get it into Fabricius. Boy, she should have made a move. Parsons shoots a 3, instead misses. Boy, Fabricius finally wasn't double-teamed. As that ball knocked away and Fernica Hall gets it. Hall will pull a 5-footer in the lane, rattles it in. So Fernica Hall, once again, is the Golden Eagles offense in this first quarter. She's got all 5 of their points. And it's a 10-5 game. Now the ball high over the head of Hamilton. Somehow saves it. Looking to drive on Fabricius. Pulls up for a fall-away 16-footer, and it's all net. Nice shot by Hamilton. First, second basket, and that increases the Toros' lead to 12-5. Now Fabricius gets it in low. Tough pass. Delapina ran into a Toro player, and they say she just lost it out of bounds. She ran into Jenkins. So Jimenez will come back in for the Toros. And Wilson will sit down. Now Jenkins quickly into the front court. Gets it over. Now it's swung around to Monet Lee. Lee gets it Garcia. Garcia guarded by Orlick. And goes up, and they say she's fouled. So she'll go to the free throw line. The foul's on Orlick. So no, they won't say it's free throws. That's ball out of bounds. It's the second team foul on the Golden Eagles. Well, the Toros, 5 of 10 so far from the floor. As that ball inbound to Monet Lee. Lee guarded by Fernica Hall. Hall's gambled a couple times for steals. That ball reached in, knocked away by Delapina and stolen. And, they're going to call a foul on Parsons, tied up with Jimenez. Tough break there. Golden Eagles looked like they had the turnover. That was behind the play. It had nothing to do with the play. And that's an even tougher call because that's a second foul on Bree Parsons, so she's going to have to sit down. Kaya Knox will come back in. Boy, really tough break, as that was the 4th turnover, but the Toros end up getting it right back. As Hamilton gets it to Garcia, open for three. Boy, she kicks out her leg. That was a weird-looking shot. No good. Delapino reaches in and ties up Jimenez. Great play by Delapina, and that forces the turnover as the Golden Eagles will get the ball on the possession arrow. So Delapino will bring it into the front court. Golden Eagles still with only 5 points in this first quarter. Now Fernica Hall will pull up for a three in front of the Toro bench. She knocks it down. So, boy, if it weren't for Fernica Hall, this would be a pretty embarrassing first quarter for Cal State L.A. But because of her, they're right back in the game, 12-8. Now three-pointer up and good by Monet Lee. So Monet Lee answers that one right away, and the Toros once again regain their 7-point lead. As that's what they do. They go down and answer a basket quickly with a basket of their own. Now Delapina gets over to Knox. Knox looking into Fabricius. Fabricius now goes to the other side. Orlick has it over to Knox. Pulls up for a long two-pointer. That's short. You can see it coming out of her hands. Now coming the other way, Hamilton. Two Golden Eagles are back. Gets it over for a long two-pointer up and good by Monet Lee. Monet Lee's on quite a roll in this first quarter. As she has 9 points for the Toros at 17-8 Cal State Dominguez Hills. Now Fabricius, and that's a tough call, saying she traveled. So that's yet another Golden Eagle turnover. Their 8th turnover of the first quarter. Now 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Garcia looking to drive two Golden Eagles defender, and she throws it out of bounds, way out of bounds. So good job there by trapping her by the Golden Eagles. That's maybe something they'll consider doing a little more of. That forces the turnover. So a 17-8 Toros lead. Golden Eagles in the last minute trying to cut into that before the second quarter. As Delapino slowly bringing it to the front court. Now Hall on the weave gets the ball in the lane around Monet Lee. Spin shot, little 8-foot turnaround. Tough shot. Off the glass, no good. It's knocked away out of bounds. They say Fabricius touched it last. Boy, two Toros were in there too. Kind of seemed like they might have touched it, but the officials will give it to Dominguez Hills. As Jenkins brings it into the front court, gives it off to Hamilton. Now Hamilton looking for somewhere to go. Gives the ball, tough pass to Jimenez over to Monet Lee. Boy, you want to guard her. She pulls up for another long two, in and out. But she gets her own rebound, blows the layup. Now Delapino reaches in on Jenkins, and they say she fouled her. So that'll be the first foul on Delapina. That's only the 14th foul, so it'll be ball out of bounds for the Toros. Sammy Oliver makes her first appearance for Cal State L.A., 5'10 freshman from San Jose. And number 33, Maria Espo comes in, the 6'2 sophomore from Stockholm, Sweden. We have not seen much of Espo at all in the last couple games, but she's in there now. As the ball inside, Wilson, boy, she hopped, looked like she traveled. Officials don't call that travel, but they call a foul instead. So Oliver quickly gets a foul. She comes into the game, and going to the line will be Kylan Wilson. Wilson's only a 51% free throw shooter on the year. She misses that free throw and shows that percentage. Number 33, Lisa Rett, comes in, a 5'5 junior from San Mateo for the Toros. So Wilson only averages 21 minutes a game as she misses the second free throw. The ball fumbled out of bounds by Jimenez. She also averages 1.6 steals a game, so a very good defender. As Knox, with 20 seconds exactly, will inbound it. So let's see if the Golden Eagles can hold for the last shot, up 17-8 after those two missed free throws by Wilson. Now Delapina with 11 seconds, looking to drive around a Knox screen. Kicks out to Oliver. Oliver fakes a three, gives off to Delapina with 5. Delapina drives with 3, runs into 2 defenders. Boy, I don't know where she was passing it. Goes out of bounds. 1.5 seconds remaining. There were only 2 Toros there. So the Golden Eagles have to catch and shoot. Delapina will inbound it. Now Knox cuts around to the side. Ball into Orlick. Orlick, left-handed three-pointer, well off the glass. No. Awkward shot there by Orlick. Awkward way to end the first quarter. So Cal State L.A.'s offense really struggled in the first quarter. Only 3 of 12 shooting. Let's see if they can get it going in the second quarter. Cal State L.A. trailing 17-8 after the end of the first quarter. This is Cal State L.A. Women's Basketball on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network. Michael Nemitz back with you at the Eagles Nest. We're about ready to begin the second quarter. Cal State L.A. trailing 17-8. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Toros. Toros are second in the conference in points scored, as I mentioned, but they're 11th in points allowed, giving up 66 points per game. Of course, that's probably because of their fast tempo. Dominguez Hills stats, though, aren't as impressive as, say, UC San Diego or Cal State East Bays, but they have experience that those two teams cannot match. They are 11th in three-point field goal defense, so we'll see if the Golden Eagles can exploit that at all, as the Golden Eagles are third in the conference in three-point percentage offense. Of course, as I mentioned, turnover is a key to this game, and so far that's not going so well for the Golden Eagles. There's a foul there on the drive by Wilson. If the Golden Eagles want to have any chance in this game, they've got to limit the turnovers, and they have not done that so far, with 8 turnovers in the first quarter. Boy, Della Pina picks up her second foul. That's a big call. We'll see if she'll have to come out as Wilson goes back to the line where she misses another free throw. Golden Eagles, though, forced 6 Toros turnovers, and Cal State L.A. now leads the conference in steals after the successful weekend they had. So they're very good at forcing turnovers themselves. Wilson makes a free throw in her 4th attempt, and that makes it a 10-point Toros lead. And now we have a foul right at the free throw line. And it's actually on Monet Lee. Golden Eagles have Orlick out there along with Della Pina, Kaya Knox, Gina Green, and Sammy Oliver. Toros with Garcia out there along with Monet Lee, Femi Hamilton, Anandi Jimenez, Kylie Wilson, and number 33, Lisa Rett. Knox fakes the shot, but she traveled. So we saw that from Fabricius a few minutes ago. It's another turnover for the Golden Eagles. Golden Eagles with only 12 shots in the game because of all those turnovers. They've only made 3 field goals so far. As the ball in the front court. Now Garcia gets over to Monet Lee. Lee driving on Knox. She was the offensive star in the first quarter for the Toros. Now Wilson back to Monet Lee. Lee driving, runs into 2 defenders. Ball goes out of her hands, goes somehow to Wilson, who lays it up and blows the layup. So a fortunate break for the Toros, followed by a fortunate break for the Golden Eagles, as Della Pina gets it over to Knox, in low to Green, double team. Turnaround 5-footer off the glass is long, and Wilson gets another rebound. Now Garcia to half court. Toros always looking to push. Now Hamilton gets it to Monet Lee on the weave. Garcia cuts around the other side and gets the ball. Now over to Lisa Rett. Rett guarded by Oliver. Gets over to Monet Lee. In low, ball knocked away and stolen by Oliver. Nice defense there. Oliver coming the other way, gets it off to Della Pina. Della Pina over to Oliver, will pull up for 3 on the wing. That's just long. Boy, a Toro defender came in to affect the shot just at the last second. Now Garcia, quick 17-footer. She knocks it down. So Garcia with her second basket, and that makes it a 20-8 Toros lead. Now dumped in low to Green. Green out to Knox, over to Orlick. Orlick pulls up for 3. No good. Oliver on the back door had the rebound, but she overran it, and it goes off her hands out of bounds. So Fernica Hall come back in for Cal State L.A. Amari Brown will come back in with 2 fouls for the Toros, along with Jimenez, who will be inbounding the ball for the Toros. So the Golden Eagles having all kinds of trouble getting baskets inside, and they're not having success as of yet from the outside yet. They're only 1 of 4 from long range. We'll see if Carter Shaw eventually brings in someone like Samantha Lee maybe to try and open up the inside, as that ball's knocked out of bounds, and we'll go back to the Toros with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Of course, Bree Parsons has 2 fouls. She's on the bench, so she's one of the Golden Eagles' three-point threats. She's sitting right now. As the ball dumped inside to Monet Lee. Lee guarded by Hall. Puts it up, no good. Doesn't draw iron. Nice box out by Delapina, and Gina Green gets the rebound. Now Delapina head to Fernica Hall. Fernica Hall in the corner to Orlick. Didn't even look to shoot. Now inside to Green. Little running 5-footer way off. Sammy Oliver gets the loose ball. Turnaround 5-footer is short. Green knocks it out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Rhett. And we'll go back to Cal State L.A. Well, Orlick was wide open a minute ago. She didn't even look to take the shot. She is one of those three-point threats. Number 14, Allie Bentoncourt, comes in for the Toros. Of course, Orlick is unselfish to a fault at times. Is that laid up and in by Fernica Hall? Nice play there by Fernica Hall to cut back door and get there for the layup. Now Monet Lee goes in, blows the layup. Now Green gets off to Delapina. Golden Eagles looking to push. See if they can get some early offense in transition. Now over to Orlick. Orlick looking inside to Green. Now over to Fernica Hall. Hall drives the baseline in the paint, puts it up, blows the layup. Tough break there. Rebound off to the Toros. Now Garcia quickly the other way. Garcia is tied up and fouled. So that'll be ball out of bounds. Fouls on Delapina. It's on Sammy Oliver. Thought it was 12, but it was 21, so that's a bit of a break for the Golden Eagles. That's only the second foul on Oliver. As Hamilton comes back in for the Toros, Delapina already has 2 fouls. She's still on the court with those 2 fouls. Now low to Monet Lee. Lee will pull up quickly for a long 2 and knocks it down. Boy, so Monet Lee picks up right where she left off in the first quarter. She's got 11 points now. And it's a 22-10 game. Now Delapina brings it into the front court. Golden Eagles desperately looking for offense to stay in this one. Now on the weave to Orlick. Orlick in low to Gina Green. Turn around, little 5-footer. Misses another short shot. Gets it back, puts up. She misses that one too. Now Orlick off to Sammy Oliver, and the Golden Eagles will reset. Boy, Gina Green's had several makeable shots inside. She has just not been able to convert any of them. Now Fernica Hall gets over to Orlick. Green inside again, deep, a little 3-footer off the back of the rim, no good. Boy, you're not going to get better looks than Gina Green is getting in this game. She's just not able to make any of them as Garcia makes the Golden Eagles pay for it. She comes down and knocks that down, a 3-pointer. And now the game is starting to get away from Cal State L.A. It's 25-10. Now Delapina gets off to Hall. Boy, Hall can't do it all by herself. She's trying. And she get hit in the face there and fouled. Second foul on Femi Hamilton. So Fernica Hall will go back to the free throw line, where she made 1 of 2 earlier. And she makes that one. So this is pretty incredible to say, and I can't remember if I've ever seen this, but we're halfway through the second quarter, so almost 15 minutes of basketball, and Fernica Hall has scored all 11 Cal State L.A. points. No other Golden Eagle has scored in almost 15 minutes of basketball. That's pretty incredible, to say the least. As Fernica Hall makes it 12 right there, so I should say Toros 25 and Fernica Hall 12, as that's a traveling violation, sure enough, on Hamilton. So Hall, who's 4 of 6 from the floor and 3 of 4 from the free throw line, has the ball right now in the front court. Inside shot rejected by Kaya Knox's shot by Monet Lee. Now coming the other way quickly is Bentoncourt, and she gets it stripped by Orlick, but she's out of bounds. Tough break there. And the ball will go back to the Toros. Nice play by Orlick to strip the ball. But possession will go to the Toros. Now Lee pulls back, 15-footer. She knocks it down. Boy, Lee with all kinds of confidence right now. She's got 13 points. She's outscored Cal State L.A. by herself. Now in low, Knox. Knox will turn around, left-hander off the glass is good. And with 4:50 remaining in the second quarter, that's the first points by someone other than Fernica Hall for Cal State L.A. As that basket's missed, and here quickly comes the Golden Eagles the other way. Della Pina in the corner. Orlick will take a three wide open, and she knocks it down. So there you go. Allie Orlick takes her first shot of the game, and she makes it. Hopefully that's a confidence booster for her. As inside, the shot is off and in by Garcia. So, boy, that's what makes the Toros tough, as Della Pina quickly brings it to the front court. Fernica Hall will take a quick three-pointer and knock it down. So a back-and-forth shootout right now. Boy, that's really not the way the Golden Eagles want to play, but if they're scoring on offense, I guess this is better than what they were doing before. So they might as well. As in the front court, Betancourt gets it over to Hamilton. Now swung around to Monet Lee. It's 29-20. Golden Eagles on a bit of a run here to get back in this game. Now swung over to Betancourt. Three-pointer is up and good by Betancourt. So Betancourt with her first basket makes it a 12-point lead. Now Orlick in the front court gets it over to Knox. Knox shot rejected by Wilson. Now Garcia coming the other way. Puts it up. Shot is up and no good. Knox with the rebound. As Della Pina will bring it in the front court. Under 3:20 remaining in the first half. Cal State L.A. still trailing by 12. That's closer than they were a minute ago as Knox gets it up at Orlick straight ahead for another three. That's off the front rim. Fernica Hall hustles for the rebound. And now Della Pina will reset. So Cal State L.A. with this faster tempo now, finally showing some signs of life on offense as Knox puts it up, but they say she traveled. So Wilson held her ground. So that'll bring us to our first media timeout of the second quarter. Boy, it's been fast and furious lately. 2:57 remaining in the second quarter. Cal State L.A. trailing 32-20 to Cal State Dominguez Hills. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball. .257 remaining here in the first half. Cal State L.A. trailing 32-20. So the Golden Eagles have gotten their offense going lately. It's impressive, even though the Golden Eagles have 10 turnovers of their own. They've forced 8 turnovers from the Toros, which is very impressive considering the Toros are second in the conference in assist-to-turnover ratio. So they usually take care of the ball very well. Of course, it's interesting. Janelle Jones here for Cal State Dominguez Hills, the former Golden Eagle coach. 2 of her former players are playing for Cal State L.A. right now. Della Pina and Samantha Lee, who are both out there, played for Janelle Jones as that shot is up and good. Tough shot by Hamilton. Of course, there are 4 other players on the team that she recruited, and Kaya Knox, one of them, is out there right now, along with Gina Green and Fernica Hall, and also Allie Orlick was out there as well. As Fabricius is back in the game, puts up, rolls off the rim, tough luck there. And the rebound goes off to Lisa Rett. And now Monet Lee looking to push it for the Toros, up ahead to Brianne Garcia. Now driving the baseline, and a reach around foul. That's on Della Pina. That's her third, and it is, I believe. So that is the third foul, so Della Pina will have to sit down for the rest of the half. So Fernica Hall is back in for Cal State L.A. So Carter Shaw plays Delapino the majority of the game for a reason. She is really the only true point guard on the roster for the Golden Eagles, and as I said, she really takes care of the balls. That one's stolen by Fernica Hall. Knocks it behind the back to Orlick, who blows the layup. Oh, a spectacular play by Fernica Hall, but Orlick couldn't finish it. I guess Fernica Hall maybe should have taken it in herself. Nice defense there anyway, as Jenkins back in the game gets over to Monet Lee. Guarded by Fabricius, puts it up and puts it in over Fabricius. So Monet Lee with her 6th point of the second quarter. She has 15 here in the first half to lead the way for everybody. And it's back to a 16-point lead for the Toros. Now Hall over to Kaya Knox. Fabricius is posted up. Now Samantha Lee. We'll see if she can get free for a shot. In low to Knox. Knox backs in on Lee. Now double teamed. And they say she's fouled on the reach in, I believe, by Jimenez. That's only the 3rd team foul on the Toros, so that will be ball out of bounds. So Jimenez with her first foul. Bree Parsons will check back in with her 2 fouls. Checking in also for the Toros is Hamilton. So Samantha Lee will inbound the ball with a fresh shot clock. 1:17 remaining in the first half. Golden Eagles looking in this last 1:17 to try and cut into it as a 3-pointer up by Lee, and good. All net for Samantha Lee. So Samantha Lee got a little daylight there, knocks down her first 3 of the game, and makes it back to a 13-point Toros lead. Now in low, the ball knocked away, and Fernica Hall grabs it. Off to Kaya Knox, knocks off to Samantha Lee, pulls up for a 25-foot long 3-pointer. It's an air ball, and Garcia is bumped and fouled by Orlick. And so the foul on Orlick. Second foul on Orlick. So that's the 4th team foul, so that'll be ball out of bounds for the Toros. As the official at the scores table discussing something as the Toros getting ready to inbound, as they'll inbound it in the back court. The foul was committed back in the paint underneath the Golden Eagle, or near the Golden Eagle basket. 52 seconds remaining, so shot clock will be 22 seconds ahead of the game clock when we get play back underway. Kylan Wilson comes back in for the Toros, so Jimenez will get a breather. Wilson with only 2 rebounds in the first half in 11 minutes, so the Golden Eagles doing a good job of keeping her off the boards. But Monet Lee is getting to the board. She has 6 rebounds in the first half to go along again for the Toros as Rhett kicks it out. Now Wilson fakes the shot, drives on Parsons. A little 5-foot runner is good. And it makes it a 15-point Toros lead again. Shot clock is almost dead even. Do hold for the last shot with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Boy, they're going too early here. Now Samantha Lee drives in the paint, and she kicks it out to Fernica Hall, thinks better of it. Now there's 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now Hall, guarded by Wilson, drives with 5, kicks out to Orlick with 4. Orlick with 3, a little running left-hander, no good. Orlick gets the loose ball now off to Knox with 1, and Knox just holds it. And that will do it for the first half. So it's been a struggle for Cal State L.A., mainly on offense here in the first half, although they did get their offense going much better in that second quarter. Golden Eagles have trailed the entire first half. They've trailed by as much as 16 points, but they now trail by 15. We'll see what Carter Shaw can do in the locker room here to try and figure out how they can get their offense, keep it going, and try to slow down Dominguez Hills. Of course, nobody's been able to figure that out yet in this conference season, as the Toros are undefeated for a reason in conference play. So I'm going to take about a 10-minute break, and then I'll get back to you with first half stats and the beginning of the second half. This is Michael Nemitz from the Eagles Nest. Cal State L.A. trailing 38-23 at halftime. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network. Welcome back to halftime here at the Eagles Nest, where the Cal State L.A. Golden Eagles are trailing the first place Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros 38-23. Michael Nemitz back here with you. Well, in the first half, what can you say? The Golden Eagles played pretty good defense. The Toros just made shots. I mean, there were a few defensive breakdowns by Cal State L.A. that led to layups, but for the most part, the Toros just hit jump shots. Boy, you would never know coming into this game that these two teams shot the exact same percentage offensively on the year. They both shot 40.7% from the field, but it's been two quite different stories shooting here in the first half. And let me tell you about that as we get to the halftime stats. Cal State LA only 8 of 33 from the floor, 24%. They were 4 of 9 for three-point range, so they did knock down a few threes. They were only 3 of 4 from the free throw line. The Toros, on the other hand, were 16 of 29 from the field, 55% in the first half. So twice as many field goals as Cal State LA. They were 3 of 6 from long range, and they were only 3 of 6 from the free throw line. The Toros out-rebounded Cal State LA 22-18. Golden Eagles, though, did have an advantage in offensive rebounds, 8-4. Turnovers, interestingly, ended up even in the first half, although it really hurt Cal State LA in the first quarter. Both teams ended up with 10 turnovers, so the Toros gave the ball away as well. Bench points really favored the Golden Eagles, 18-3. And you have to be honest, the reason for that, of course, was Fernica Hall, who was the entire Golden Eagles offense for the first quarter and a half, literally. Points in the paint favored the Toros, 12-6. As far as scoring goes, the Toros didn't really spread out their scoring either as well. They had one dominant scorer, that was Monet Lee. She had 15 points to go along with 6 rebounds. She was 6 of 12 from the floor. Brianne Garcia, though, had 9 points, the Toros' leading scorer, on 4 of 7 shooting. Femi Hamilton had 6 points, 5 points for Kylan Wilson, and 3 points for Allie Bentoncourt. For Cal State LA, as I mentioned, they were led by Fernica Hall, of course. Hall had 15 points on 5 of 7 shooting. She made both of her shots from long range. She was 3 of 4 from the free throw line. She had 2 rebounds, and probably most impressively, she had 4 steals against this top-ranked, first-place Toros team. That's quite impressive. She had 5 steals in her last 2 games, so she's just improving on her conference-leading total in that category. Besides her, though, the only other players to score were Samantha Lee, who had 3 points on 1 3-pointer. Allie Orlick had 1 3-pointer, and Kaya Knox had 1 basket. So the Golden Eagles with 3 baskets other than Fernica Hall in this first half, and they only scored 8 points that did not belong to Fernica Hall. So that certainly will have to change in the second half if they're going to want to stay in this one. Well, the Golden Eagles will be saying goodbye to the Eagles Nest for quite a while after this game. They'll be on the road for over 3 weeks after this. Their next home games will not be until the end of the regular season. That'll be February 25th against Stanislaus State. That's a Thursday, by the way. And then they'll play Chico State on February 27th. That's the last game of the regular season. The Golden Eagles hope they're not their last game of the season, period, as they're still trying to get in the conference tournament. In the meantime, they play Cal State San Marcos, this Cal State Dominguez Hills team, Cal State Monterey Bay, and Cal State East Bay on a 4-game road trip until they come back to the Eagles Nest. As for the Toros, they're going to have a tough finish as well. They have 6 of their final 7 games on the road. So their only home game remaining is the game against Cal State L.A. a week from Saturday. And they have not played Cal State East Bay yet, so that might be quite a challenge for them. Cal State East Bay certainly a great defensive team that likes to slow down the pace very much. So that game's in East Bay, too. So Cal State Dominguez Hills, quite the chore. As we're underway to start the second half, Kaya Knox gets the ball at the paint. Drives in on Monet Lee. She loses out of her hands, out of bounds, and will go to the Toros. So a turnover right out of the chute for Cal State LA. Not the way they wanted to start the second half. As Garcia in the front court over to Hamilton. Hamilton crossover dribble, gets it over to Garcia. Now into Wilson. Toros looks like with their same 5 that started the game. Golden Eagles have their same starting 5, including Delapino, who has 3 fouls. Now Wilson drives on Bree Parsons, the baseline, kicks it out, now it's swung around. Monet Lee drives the baseline, kicks it off, the ball fumbled away by Jimenez, and out of bounds, and will go to Cal State LA. So both teams trade turnovers on their first possession of the second half. Kind of unexpected. You see a game that's this sloppy so far, especially as good as Cal State Dominguez Hills is. As I said, they usually do not turn the ball over, but they've turned it over freely in this one. As Parsons gets over to Knox. Now Knox in low to Fabricius. Fabricius nowhere to go, gets it to Knox. Pull up for a long line drive, 2-pointer. She knocks it in. So Kaya Knox gets her the first basket of the second half for the Golden Eagles, and that makes it a 13-point Cal State L.A. deficit as Hamilton looking for somewhere to go. Gets over to Wilson. Now Garcia pulls up for a long three-pointer. That's long. Fighting for the loose ball. It goes off and goes to Wilson. So the Toros will get another chance, but it's thrown right to Orlick on the baseball pass from Wilson. Don't know what she was thinking there. So another Toros turnover. Now Delapina goes around the screen, kicks over to Fabricius. Knox is open. Fabricius decides to back in. Up and under, lays it up and lays it in. So the first basket of the game for Rike Fabricius makes an 11-point Toros lead. Now Lee pulls up for a quick 18-footer, no good. Fabricius boxes out to get the rebound. Delapina looking to push up into the front court. Toros, of course, are back defensively. Delapina thought about the three, gets over to Knox instead, and the Golden Eagles will reset with plenty of time on the shot clock. Now Delapina drives inside. Oh, Knox was open. She didn't see her. Now Knox gets it in the paint on Lee. Pump fake, puts it up, and a late foul call. Boy, Lee slapped down, and the official blew the whistle late, but it will be 2 free throws for Kaya Knox. So second foul on Lee. First team foul of the half. And Kaya Knox will go to the free throw line for her first trip. Knox only a 53.5% free throw shooter on the year. Of course, that's an area the Golden Eagles have struggled on all season long, as that free throw is good. As a team, Cal State L.A. only 65.5% from the free throw line. That's near the bottom of the conference. As I mentioned, Dominguez Hills, a very good free throw shooting team. As that one hits the front rim and bounces in. Boy, that gets the lucky members bounce. Knox will take it. And the game is back in single digits, just like that, 38-29. Now swung over to Garcia, guarded by Orlick. Boy, Parsons goes down in the lane and gets up slowly. Ball knocked away by Fabricius. Jimenez gets it back, kicks over in the corner. Hamilton, she traveled, sure enough. So another turnover for the Toros. Boy, the Toros really letting Cal State L.A. back in the game with turnovers. As Wilson will sit down and Red will come back in. So the Golden Eagles can cut it to 7 or 6 on this possession. As this is just what they needed to start the third quarter if they want to have any chance in this game. Now Parsons. Fabricius gets the ball inside, goes to her left, puts it up, no, but she is fouled by Jimenez. So she'll go to the free throw line. Nice decisive move by Fabricius. So Hamilton picks up her third foul. Fabricius will go to the line for her first trip. The Golden Eagles have only been there 6 times in the game, but they're starting to get there more in this third quarter. And that's what I thought. The foul was on I said it right the first time. It was on Jimenez. They said, I believe the official looked like he signaled 23, but they still show 24 with the foul, so I'm not sure about that. I'll have to check on that, as the free throw is good by Fabricius. And they do show Hamilton with 3 fouls, so I guess they didn't change it. And I think that's maybe what the that's what I thought. There it is. That's what I thought. I was right the first time. The foul was on Jimenez. That's only the first team foul on the Golden Eagles. So it'll be ball to bounce to the Toros. As Amari Brown comes back in for the Toros. So Molly Goodenbauer looking for some kind of scoring from the Toros. As they're off to a slow start, they still have not scored in this third quarter. And we're almost 3.5 minutes in. So to say they're off to a slow start is an understatement, as they're going to call reaching, I believe, on Fabricius. So she gets 2 quick fouls just like that. That's only her first 2 fouls, but she's got to be careful. As she's finally started to get her offense going. She has 4 points all in this third quarter. Now Monet Lee gets over to Garcia. Swung around to Brown. Brown driving on Parsons, runs into Fabricius, puts up a wild shot, no good, and Parsons gets the rebound. So Brown ran into a wall there. Now Orlick in the front court looking for Knox. Decides better of it. Now gets it into Knox. Lee reaches in and fouls her, and Lee complains, I don't know how. That was an easy call. She knocked down Knox. So that's a third foul on Lee. Third foul on Lee. And she will come to the bench. So Wilson will check back in for her. So Delapino will inbound the ball with a fresh shot clock into Fabricius. Fabricius backs it on Jimenez, puts it up. Oh, it's short. Don't think Jimenez got a piece of it. Fabricius just couldn't get it over. Now Hamilton up to Garcia. Boy, you got to stay attached to her. Now double teamed. Now it's swung around. Brown in the corner for three. That one no good. Nice box out by Fabricius. And the Toros still have not scored over 4 minutes into this quarter. Cal State L.A. with a couple of chances to get closer, and they haven't been able to do it. Now knocks over to Parsons. Parsons drives, nowhere to go. She picks up her dribble, gets over to Orlick, through her legs. Orlick gathers it now to Delapina. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now Delapina and the knocks quickly. Pump fake, puts it up, and blows the layup, gets it back. But held ball, tie up by Jimenez, and the possession arrow will go to the Toros. Tough break there by Knox. She had the layup, couldn't convert it. And then when she got the loose ball, she was tied up. So the Toros will bring it up. 12 turnovers for the Golden Eagles. So neither team has scored here in the last several possessions. Boy, Cal State L.A. letting some chances go by. The game could be almost even by now if they'd scored a few times. As Parsons and a traveling violation, thought they might call a held ball there, but they called the travel instead. Nice defense there by Parsons to force the turnover on Brown. So Lee will quickly come back in the game, and Brown will take a seat. So once again, Cal State L.A. looking to cut this to a 5-point or 4-point deficit. As Orlick around the screen stops in her tracks off to Delapina. In low, nice pass to Fabricius, who gets knocked away. And if that's Monet Lee, that's her fourth foul. And it is. So that's a big foul there. So she'll definitely have to go to the bench now. With 5:07 remaining in the third quarter, Rhett's going to check in for her. So Fabricius will go back to the line. So Fabricius looking to cut the Golden Eagle deficit even further, and she does from the free throw line. So Rhett checks in. Fabricius has made all three of her free throws all in this quarter. She has 5 points now, looking to make it a 5-point game, the closest the Golden Eagles have gotten in a long time, and she makes it. And it's 38-33, Cal State Dominguez Hills. As Garcia pulls up for a 17-footer, bounces off no good. They say Orlick fouled her. Boy, Garcia kind of sold it there, flailed away, but she got the call. So she'll go to the line when we come back from this media timeout. That's the third foul on Orlick. 5 minutes exactly remaining in this third quarter. Cal State L.A. is still trailing, but only 38-33. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball. Five minutes exactly remaining in this third quarter. Michael Nemitz here with you at the Eagles Nest. If you're just joining us, the Golden Eagles trail by 15 points at halftime, 38-23, but they have scored all 10 points here in this third quarter so far. The Toros still have not scored, although Brianne Garcia is going to the line looking to put the Toros on the scoreboard here in the third quarter. Garcia, an excellent free throw shooter, one of the best in the conference, shooting over 83% from the line, and she's been there a ton, almost 120 times on the year. As that's the first point of the quarter for the Toros. So that makes it a 6-point game. Now Garcia looking to make it 7. As that one is short but bounces in. Kind of like the bounce that Kaya Knox got a little earlier from the line. And that makes it a 7-point Toros lead. Delapina out there, back for Nika Hall back in the game. along with Bree Parsons, Kaya Knox, and Enrique Fabricius. As Fabricius gets it near the three-point line into Parsons, who lays it up and lays it in. Nice cut to the basket by Parsons, and she got rewarded for her first points of the game. And it's 40-35. Now Wilson gets over to Rhett. Now Rhett over to Hamilton, guarded by Delapina. Now Hamilton goes inside. What a pass, but the layup is missed by Wilson. Boy, that was quite a pass by Hamilton. Golden Eagles get the rebound. Now Delapina gets off to Bree Parsons. Nobody there to help her. Now finally Knox gets the ball. Now over to Fernica Hall. Let's see if Hall can get going again after that hot first half. Now Hall through her legs. Fakes the pass, gets in low to Parsons with 10 on the clock. Parsons, little scoop shot, rolls off the rim, no good. Tough break by Parsons. That looked halfway in and rolled out. And now with under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, Garcia looks to drive, and she is cut off, and they say bumped by Fernica Hall. So that's only the first foul on Fernica Hall, but it's the fourth team foul for the Golden Eagles. As Amari Brown will come back in, and Jimenez will get a breather. So each team are with 4 fouls now. They're both out of fouls. As Hamilton inbound it. Gets it in high to Rhett. As Fernica Hall almost stole that pass to Garcia. Now it's in the corner. Three-pointer. High arcing shot is good by Hamilton. Well, that's a big shot by Hamilton. Now Fabricius quickly the other way. Blows the layup, but she is fouled. Oh, looked like Fabricius was going to convert that one. Late whistle. I believe the foul was on Brown. And no, instead they're going to get Kylan Wilson. So first foul on Wilson. Fabricius will go right back to the line where she has 4 of her 6 points. Fabricius knocks down another free throw. Fabricius on the year, by the way, is a 67% free throw shooter, but she's really improving that percentage tonight, as that free throw is perfect as well. So she's on a roll. She's got all 8 of her points in this third quarter, and it's back to a 5-point Golden Eagle deficit. So a long two-pointer is up and no good by Hamilton. Boy, underneath the ball, knocked out of bounds. It'll go to the Golden Eagles. Well, there's a discrepancy between the scoreboard and what the stats say. Stats say the Toros are up 43-37. Scoreboard says 42-37. If that shot by Hamilton was a three-pointer, I believe the stats are right, as 17-footer by Delapina is good. So Delapina with her first basket of the game. I believe the score is 43-39. Golden Eagles trailing by 4. As Wilson gets swung around to Garcia. Now over to Brown, guarded by Fabricius. Crossover dribble, bumps into Fabricius. I believe that was before the shot, but it's 2 free throws anyway. So that'll already be the third foul on Fabricius. So now she has 3 fouls, Delapina has 3 fouls, and Allie Orlick has 3 fouls. As Brown will go to the free throw line and make the first free throw. Brown, the third leading scorer for the Toros this year. She's a 66% free throw shooter. And she makes both free throws. And I believe the officials are going to call a timeout. So I believe the Toros called a timeout. We'll take a break. 2:39 remaining in this third quarter. Cal State L.A. trailing 45-39. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network. 2:39 remaining in this third quarter. The scoreboard still shows 44-39, but that's not the correct score. It's 45-39. Cal State Dominguez Hills has a 6-point lead, not 5. So the Golden Eagles inbound the ball. Delapina out there with Knox, Bree Parsons, Sammy Aller back out there, and Fernica Hall. As Hall gets the pass in the front court. Dangerous pass there. Delapina just saves it. As the Toros look like they're picking up their defense. Now Hall gets it knocked out of bounds and will stay with the Golden Eagles with 15 on the shot clock. 2:23 on the game clock. As Hall will inbound it right in front of her coach, Carter Shaw. Now inside, Knox is posted up, one-on-one, and thrown right to Wilson. Boy, Knox telegraphed that pass, but then it's thrown out of bounds by Wilson, so Wilson returns the gift. And it's turnover for turnover, and the Golden Eagles will go back right where they started on offense here in a minute. That's 15 turnovers for Cal State Dominguez Hills. As Hall, triple teamed, weaves through the triple team into the front court, whips it over to Oliver, wide open for three in the corner. That's well short, you can see it. Knox fights for three, but off to Fernica Hall, puts it up and puts it in. So Fernica Hall with her first basket of the second half. She has 17 now, and it's a 4-point game, 45-41. Now Wilson gets over to Brown, pulls up for a long two-pointer, no good. Fernica Hall high for the rebound, and they're going to call a foul, I believe. They were pointing to the Toros player, but I guess they're going to get Fernica Hall. The official, so second foul on Fernica Hall. The official was pointing to the Toros player, but I guess he was just saying she was the player who was fouled. That was Rhett. Of course, the Golden Eagles are out of fouls, so that'll be 2 free throws for Rhett. Rhett, only in her 9th game, misses the free throw. She plays limited minutes, only 9 minutes a game, and she's only been to the free throw line 10 times this year. She's made 4 out of the 10 free throws. Now misses that one and that one. But chasing down the rebound is Brown. That's a bad break for the Golden Eagles. They could not secure that missed free throw. Now Brown runs into Parsons, puts it up and puts it in. So the Toros take advantage of the second chance. And it's a 6-point lead. Now Delapina into the front court. Triple teamed over to Parsons. Parsons will pull up straight away for 3. No good. Hall fighting for the rebound. Goes off to Fernica Hall, who gets it to Delapina. Now over to Oliver. Wide open. Will pull up for 13-footer. Knocks it down. Nice job by Sammy Oliver to get closer to make it an easier shot. And it's back to a 4-point Golden Eagle deficit. Now Garcia will pull up for a quick 18-footer. That's long. The rebound is long, though, too, and Brown gets it, puts it up, puts it in, and she's fouled. Big play there by Brown. Boy, the rebound was just sitting there begging for someone to pick it up, and no Golden Eagle was near it. So Brown puts in the hustle rebound and looks for a 3-point play as Knox gets her first foul. And Brown makes the free throw. So a big quarter for Brown. She had not scored before this quarter. Now she has 7 all in this quarter as it's a 7-point lead. Now Delapina, boy, nowhere to go. Only 2 seconds to get across the front court, and they won't do it. And that's a 10-second violation as Fernica Hall was nowhere near the front court. So a turnover for Cal State L.A. So the Toros with a 7-point lead will look to extend it with 45.4 seconds remaining. Ali Orlick will check back in. Fernica Hall sit down. So 15-second difference, shot clock and game clock. As the Golden Eagles want to try to get a stop here and get a basket to keep this game close going into the fourth quarter. Now Wilson gets off to Garcia. Garcia left wide open for 3 straight away, but she misses it by a mile. Orlick has the ball come to her. Now looking ahead, gets over to Delapina. Shot clock and game clock are almost identical. Let's see if Delapina holds to the last shot. That's what Carter Shaw wants. As Delapina was 17, now probing, going back and forth with 14. Ball knocked away and stolen by Garcia. Right out of Delapina's hands, lays it up and lays it in. Oh boy, tough time for a turnover there. Now with 5 seconds, Delapina with 4, looking to get it back with 3, puts it up and she's fouled with 1.1 seconds remaining. So that makes it a 9-point Toros lead. So Garcia gets her first foul. Delapina will go to the line, looking to cut this to a 7-point deficit going into the fourth quarter. Delapina, 74% free throw shooter on the year. And that one rolls around and out. So the Golden Eagles have been great from the free throw line up to this point. They're 11 of 13 with that miss. Now looking to make it an 8-point deficit. And she does. So the ball's inbounded by Garcia, and that'll do it. So Cal State L.A. made quite a run in this third quarter. They got it as close as 4 points, but the Toros have answered late in the quarter, and they pulled it back to 8 at the end of 3 quarters. We're going to the fourth quarter. Cal State L.A. with the trailing 52-44. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network. This is the beginning of the fourth quarter. Michael Nemitz at the Eagles' Nest. The score is 52-44, Cal State Dominguez Hills. The scoreboard still shows 51, which is not correct. Femi Hamilton had a three-pointer in that quarter, which should have made it, which the scoreboard only showed as a two-pointer apparently. Now Delapina off to Fabricius. Fabricius triple-teamed, and she is fouled going up, so that should be 2 free throws. So third foul on Amari Brown, and Fabricius will go back to the line. She had quite a third quarter from the free throw line. She was 6 of 6 in the quarter, looking to add 2 more here. And that's her first miss of the game from the line. So now Fabricius, 8 points in the game, second leading scorer to Fernica Hall. She makes the free throw. And that makes it 52-45. So Wilson will bring it into the front court. Now off to Rhett. Rhett all the way underneath. Shot blocked by Parsons. Parsons saves it. Nice defense by Parsons. Now Delapina looking to push it up, but the Toros are back. 3 of them on defense. Now Delapina to Fabricius. Looking inside to Knox. Can't get it to her. Now Parsons. And they're going to call a foul on the other side. I believe is it on Brown inside on Knox? There's 6 seconds on the shot clock, so it might be a shot clock issue. I believe the shot clock wasn't reset, so that's why the ball will be inbounded here. Yeah, 22 on the shot clock. That was the issue. As Monet Lee comes back in for the Toros with those 4 fouls. Boy, the Toros really struggled with her on the bench. Now in low to Fabricius. Fabricius spin move up and under, lays it up and lays it in, and she's fouled. So Fabricius has taken over this second half. So maybe that was an emphasis by Carter Shaw at halftime to take advantage of the size advantage of Fabricius inside. As I said, she's 3 inches taller than any player on the Toros as she makes the free throw. And the Gold Eagles are taking advantage of it. And it's a 4-point game, 52-48. Now Wilson gets it over to Monet Lee, guarded by Knox. Lee gives it off. Now Brown runs into 2 defenders, and they call a block. Boy, I guess they say neither defender was directly in front of her. That's a tough break. And the foul, I believe, will go on Knox. Second foul on Knox. Boy, Brown looked out of control, though, on that drive. She got bailed out by that foul. And they're going to say that she was shooting, so that's free throws. Boy, that's interesting. Looked like she lost the ball. So they're going to give her free throws, and that one is good. So that increases the Toro lead back to 5, and that free throw is long, and Orlick gets the rebound. So 53-48, Cal State Dominguez Hills as Delapina gets it to Parsons on the far side. Parsons pull up 13-foot runner is good. So Bree Parsons with her second basket of the game makes it a 3-point game. That's the closest the Golden Eagles have been since the beginning of the game, 53-50. Now Monet Lee. Now Brown, pull-up 18-footer is long. Knox fighting for the rebound, goes off to Wilson, and they call a held ball, and the possession will stay with the Toros. So Wilson will check back in, I believe, for the Toros. And Brown will sit down. So the Toros will get it. Boy, all that experience down the stretch. You look at a game here in the fourth quarter, that really comes in handy for the Toros. That's why they usually don't lose, especially in conference, as that ball goes through the hands of Garcia, and she gets it. It's because of all that veteran experience late in games, as Garcia misses that one, but Jimenez is there for the rebound. Monet Lee, a long two-pointer, 19-footer, that's no good, and Kaya Knox gets the rebound. So all those jump shots that were going in the first half for the Toros are now not going in, and the Golden Eagles are taking advantage of it. Orlick's wide open on the far side. Delapino pulled for a three on the tie. She knocks it down! Delapina knocks down a three, and Cal State L.A. has tied the game. 50. Well, now it shows 53-52. Oh, boy, we got an issue here as the ball's knocked away and stolen by Delapina. In low to Fabricius. Fabricius gives out to Knox. Knox bump, will pull up left-handed 10-footer, no good. Fabricius gets a loose ball, no good, but she'll go to the line to shoot two. Good hustle by Fabricius after the physical play there by Knox. Wilson with her second foul. Yeah, they still show Hamilton with that three-pointer in the third quarter, so I don't know what's going on here. The Toros might have a bit of an argument. Hopefully no one will notice. But right now it shows the Golden Eagles the 1-point lead as that free throw is good. So Jenkins will come back in. So it's 54-52 Cal State L.A. And that's the way the scoreboard shows, and who might argue. Now Fabricius puts it up and puts it in. And it's 55-52 Cal State L.A. 7:29 remaining. Now Jenkins gets it over to Monet Lee. Monet Lee drives on Fabricius all the way, no good, but she'll draw two free throws. So Monet Lee hampered by that foul trouble. She's had 6 points in the second half, but she hasn't played much of it. Third foul on Bree Parsons. So that's the second team foul on the Golden Eagles. So Monet Lee will go back to the line where she made her only two free throws. Toro's only 8 of 15 from the line in the game. So if they can look back, that's an area really hurting them right now as Lee knocks down the free throw. Once again, the Toros have started out this quarter slow. That's only their second point of the quarter. Remember, I've talked about Cal State L.A. a while ago starting out quarters slow. Well, it's the Toros that have started out this quarter slow in the second half, as that free throw is also good. So that makes it a 1-point lead, 55-54. Now Delapina in the front court. Garcia right on her. Now Knox gets it to Delapina, fakes the three. Oh, they say she traveled. Say she stepped back and moved that pivot foot. So a tough time for a turnover. That's the 16th turnover for Cal State L.A. The Toros still have more. They have 17. But Jenkins will bring it in the front court, looking to give Cal State Dominguez Hills back the lead. Now Garcia. Over to Garcia. Over to Monet Lee. Now underneath the ball, knocked away. Now Lee pulls up for a long three-point. She banks it in. Oh, she didn't call bank, but she's not going to give it away. And now Knox inside all the way up and under, puts up, she's fouled and go to the line. So that makes it a 2-point Toros lead. Kylan Wilson gets her third foul. So Knox will go to the line to try and tie this one up. Knox made her only 2 free throws earlier. She has 6 points on the game to go along with 3 rebounds. And she makes that free throw. So Jimenez will come back in for the Toros. Wilson will take a seat. Now Knox looking to even this one up once again. And she does. So 57-57, we got a 6-minute and 35-second ball game as Jenkins brings it into the front court. Now Bree Parsons denying the pass. Now a double team reaching in, and they're going to call a foul on Parsons. A little too physical reaching in there. That's a 4th foul on Bree Parsons, so she's the first Golden Eagle with 4 fouls. That's only a 3rd team foul, though, on Cal State L.A. So that'll be ball out of bounds for the Toros. Fernica Hall check back in. And she's coming in for Parsons. I believe that's why Parsons only played 19 minutes on Saturday, was because of the hot play of Fernica Hall. Fernica Hall played most of the game. Now Jenkins gets it over to Monet Lee. Boy, you got to be on her. Now knocked away by Fernica Hall. Oh, luckily goes out to Hamilton. Garcia fakes a 3 in the corner, goes around and then gets bumped and goes down. The foul's on Knox. So that'll be the 3rd foul on Knox. That's the 4th team foul, so now both teams are out of fouls. As Garcia pulls up for a long 2. That one is long, but Jenkins chases down the rebound in the corner. Jenkins drives the baseline, puts it up and puts it in. So Bridget Jenkins, with her first basket of the game, gives the Toros back the lead off the second chance point. Now Della Pina looking to go around a screen. Drives in the lane. Nowhere to go. Inside to Knox. Boy, Knox underneath. Reverse layup. Puts it up and puts it in. Nice move by Knox. Had to be careful of the 3-second count, but she got it up and in. And ties the game at 59. Now Monet Lee, double teamed. Kicks over Jimenez. Runs into Fabricius. Oh, and they say Fabricius fouled her. Tough call there. That's the 4th foul on Fabricius. So she becomes the second Golden Eagle starter with 4 fouls. Jimenez will go to the line. Jimenez only a 62.5% free throw shooter on the year. She has not been to the line in this game. Remember, the Toros only 10 of 17 from the line. That's really why they're not ahead right now. But if Jimenez makes this free throw, they will be. And she does. Sammy Oliver will check in, so Carter Shaw is going to try and buy Fabricius some time. We'll see how much time. As Orlick also came in, so Bree Parsons also sitting down with those 4 fouls. We'll see how long Carter Shaw can leave them on the bench. As Jimenez looking to make it a 2-point game, and she does. So Wilson will check back in for Jimenez. 5:29 remaining. Full court pressure being shown by the Toros. Della Pina gets it over to Kaya Knox. Tough pass back to Della Pina. Della Pina, tip pass, gets to Fernica Hall somehow. Head to Orlick. Orlick wide open for 3. Sets her feet. No good. It's long. Sammy Oliver took the rebound away from Knox. Oh, tough break. Knox was right underneath. Garcia all the way puts it up, and she is fouled by Della Pina. Boy, tough break there. Knox looked like she would have had a layup, but Oliver, her teammate, knocked it away from her. So now Della Pina picks up her 4th foul, so foul trouble really becoming an issue for the Golden Eagles. As Garcia will go to the line to shoot 2. Garcia with 13 points. She's made both of her free throws, and she continues there. So Jimenez will come right back in, and Jenkins will sit. So now Garcia looking to extend the Toros' lead with 5:10 remaining, and she does. Now Delapina to Oliver. Up ahead to Franika Hall. Hall gets it ahead to Orlick. Oh, had Knox cutting toward the basket but couldn't get it to her. And now the Golden Eagles will reset. Now Delapina looking for somewhere to go. Gives it off to Franika Hall. Hall pulls up for a long three-pointer straight away. No. Ball goes off and rebound by Wilson. Now Garcia pushing ahead. Garcia around the back dribble. Nobody picks her up. She lays up and blows the layup. On the loose ball, though, Brown gets the rebound. She's fouled over the top by Sammy Oliver. So Garcia missed the gimme, but the Golden Eagles could not get the rebound. So that'll take us to our final media timeout. Boy, don't go anywhere. This should be an interesting finish. 4:42 remaining in this fourth quarter. Cal State L.A. trailing 63-59. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball on the Cal State L.A. Athletics Network. .442 remaining in this fourth quarter. Cal State L.A. trailing by 4. But Amari Brown going to the line can extend that for the Toros. Free throw is good. So Brown has had quite a second half. As she has 9 points, now 10 points in the second half. And that extends the lead to 6 now for the Toros. Golden Eagles desperately need a basket here. As Delapina gets ahead. Oh, Fabricius. Triple teamed ahead to Delapina, ahead to Orlick. Orlick whips across court to Parsons. And now the Golden Eagles will reset. Still plenty of time left. They don't need to hurry, but they do need a basket. Now Delapina gets over to Fabricius. Fabricius gets it in low, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Kaya Knox. Saying she hooked to create space there, and that's her fourth foul. So now 4 of the 5 Golden Eagle starters have 4 fouls, and Allie Orlick, the other starter, has 3 fouls. As Bree Parsons is back out there along with Fabricius. That ball almost stolen. Parsons has to be careful. Now Monet Lee will shoot a three-pointer and knock it down. So the Toros making the baskets when they count. They've scored the last 9 here, and they have a 9-point lead. Now Orlick in the front court gets it ahead to Knox. Golden Eagles just not able to attack that full court press. Now Knox goes around a screen. Fabricius inside. Off to Parsons. Parsons driving all the way. Gives off to Fabricius. Out to Knox. Pulls up for a 3. It's deflected. Taken by Garcia. Now Garcia quickly the other way. Throws it ahead to Brown. Brown puts it up and puts it in. Well, someone's fouled out. Depends who the foul's on. So Brown with the basket. We'll see who fouled out. It's either Delapina or it's, I believe, Knox. It's Knox. So Knox fouls out. So Knox, in 31 minutes, had 10 points. She's only 3 of 11 from the floor. She was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. She had 3 rebounds. So I believe we're going to have a timeout now on the floor. 3:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Cal State L.A. now trailing 70-59. This is Cal State L.A. women's basketball. 3:25 remaining in this fourth quarter. Well, with 5:42 remaining in this fourth quarter, the game was tied 59-59. And in that short period of time, not even 2.5 minutes, the Toros have gone on an 11-0 run, and that's basically the ball game, as Brown will look to make it a 12-point lead for the Toros and extend their run. And she misses the free throw. Fabricius with the rebound. Now the Golden Eagles are going to have to hurry, as Della Pina in the front court, hounded by Garcia, drives through two defenders, lays it up, lays it in, and she's fouled. What a nifty shot and play by Della Pina. So Della Pina with her 8th point, all in the second half. Didn't catch who the